Hi, my name is Jen Gagnon and I've been a consultant for 6 years. I originally started because we wanted to have a second baby and you can't put 2 kids through daycare on a minor teacher's salary. I thought I would stand up and shake in front of everyone because that is what happens in real life. So I was going to do my first 6 shows and quit so I could keep all of my stuff. 6 years later, I'm still here. I truly believe that anyone can learn the skills needed to be successful. While each pillar we're talking about in this series is important, and each has a huge place in each of our foundations, I can truly say that without the skills, I would not be here today. You see, when I started this business, it was my 3rd job. My daughter was 1.5 years, and we wanted to have a second baby. I did this business part-time for a while because I felt that was all I could handle. I did not know at the time that it was much easier to do 2 shows a week than it is to do 2 shows a month. I felt like it was my first party every party. Then the school budget came and I was cut. My contract, thankfully, was written wrong and I was able to bump the math teacher and keep a job for another year. But the scare of potentially losing my job made me realize I needed to pump up my business. This was something I could control. The school budget, I could not. So then the cuts came again the next year, and I lost my job again. There was no bumping, no moving. There were no spots left for me after the cuts. Panic set in. I went to conference and learned about Go for No. Those were the best skills I could have ever learned about this business. We have to get through the no's to get to the yeses. Thankfully, 3 weeks before school started, I found a job. Relief, right? Nope. I had the worst year ever. I can't even tell you how many times I came home crying at the end of the day. I decided at Christmas time enough was enough, and I was not going to go back to that school the next year. I was not going to wonder every year if I was going to have a job, where it would be, who I'd be teaching, what I'd be teaching, or if I'd be teaching. So, in August of 2011, this became my full-time job. I called my director and panic set in. My last real paycheck was coming in 2 weeks, and I didn't have enough shows on my calendar to pay my bills, even though I had been working Pampered Chef full-time through the entire last school year. It was a fluke summer, and I didn't apply the skills I knew I needed to apply to ensure a strong schedule. She said to me, "Jen, you know what you need to do." She was right. It was time to go for no. Now, I'm a very competitive person. If someone tells me that I can't do something, I say, watch me. You have to know a little bit about how I started. I had no family support. My dad did not think that this was a real job, so therefore neither did my mom or my sister. It took my mom 4 years for her to even come to a party. Her best friend had 4 parties for me before she finally came to one. And it took my sister 5 years. No one in my family has ever had a party for me. I started with 2 friends, a teacher that I worked with and a woman that my husband worked with, and I branched out from there. I did vendor fairs and fundraisers and talked to a lot of people. Anyone that would listen. It didn't matter if I knew them or not. Now, my dad is old school. He was worried about the steady paycheck and the retirement plan and all those normal adult things to worry about. So you can just imagine how supportive he was when he found out that I was not going back to teaching and doing this full time. You see, I needed skills. I never missed a team meeting except for 2, and those were for budget meetings trying to save my job. A lot of good those did me. I've gone to every conference since I started. I got the motivation I needed from those around me, and I got the skills I needed to apply to become successful so that I could prove my dad wrong. Team meetings are where I learned about vendor events and fundraisers. Conference is where I learned about Go for No, among a million other things. The consultant website is where I found scripts to use when making calls. I applied everything I could possibly learn to making this work. Why? Because I had to prove my dad wrong. Now, I've been reading some of the comments under the Daily Vitamins these last couple of weeks, and it sounds like some of you have some people in your life like I do. Those that don't think you can do this. Those that pull you down. Well, don't let them. Pull up your bootstraps, take it upon yourself to seek out the skills you need, and prove them wrong. Let me tell you, it's a great feeling when you accomplish something that someone, and maybe even yourself, didn't think you could do. Have a great day. Bye.